How do you know what a bass looks like on your forward-facing sonar? I get this question asked a lot, and we're about to go through the 3 tips to help you identify bass with your forward-facing sonar. Also, we're going to have footage. I'm going to have footage at the end of the video, me talking through different scenarios, so it will help you out if you're a beginning angler to an advance of catching more fish with your forward-facing sonar unit. Welcome to the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Jimmy Easterling. I go by Coach E. I'm a former teacher, former coach, but I've been fishing for full-time now for 4 years. And in 3 of those years, I've been a guide, but I do the on-the-water lessons to help people out of using their forward-facing sonar to the fullest. I've been in a lot of boats, a lot of scenarios, and I've probably caught 99% of my fish in the last 3 years with it. I've sold out to it, and that's part of helping you guys out to get better with it. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not the way to win tournaments. It helps, and if you're really good with it, you will win and catch more fish. But that's my deal, is I want to help you guys in catching more bass. The tournaments is great, but let's go catch more fish, and let's talk about these 3 key points. The first thing is, guys, the first one is bass set up differently and do different things on lakes throughout the country. So if you're watching these YouTube videos and you're watching different scenarios of the pros, you need to understand, how does this relate to my lake? With that too, on the first one is, we got to identify, and you might already have identified, but is your lake has a lot of trash fish or does it not? There are some lakes, and that can help you out. There are some lakes that don't have many trash fish. Sometimes they're small lakes. Sometimes they're big lakes. You go to Oklahoma, for example. Grand Lake is a lake with a lot of different trash fish in it. Trash fish meaning they're not bass. You could be throwing at carp, drum, buffalo, catfish. But then there are some smaller lakes, and Josh Jones did this, and he's way ahead. But he got way ahead before people are catching up now. You go to these small lakes where they just stock bass and brim and crappie. So you then go and learn how bass react, because you're throwing in a lot of bass. So the first one is understanding your lake. And as we get through this, it's going to help you out in catching more bass. And so your lake, if you're seeing a lot of fish on the screen and they're not reacting to lures, a lot of trash fish. And that's one of the big things too, is you're throwing at trash fish too many times, or you're throwing at what you think's a bass too many times. So if you throw at a fish particular and it's not reacting, move on. Okay, so let's go to number 2 now, curiosity. Bass are curious creatures. Other fish are curious too, though, but bass are curious. For example, one way to get better identifying bass, of course, go to a brush pile, go to a rock spot, swim an Alabama rig over as we get into the winter. If a bass is interested, it's going to come off that rock spot or out of that brush pile that you never see, and check your A-rig out. You can do it with a jerk bait, flutter spoon, other baits too. So you're learning right there how bass reacts. Okay, if you're throwing at single fish on the screen and they're not interested in your lure at all, either you're not in the cone of your device, which the Garmin has a bigger cone, Active Target is a tight cone, they're not bass. Okay, like I know in Texas, groups of fish, and Table Rock I've learned this too, if you see a school of fish and they look good size and you throw a bait over them and they break up, they're gizzard shad or a type of big shad. That's what I've learned. See, I don't have trout in my lakes. Some guys in parts of the country have trout. So on your second one is curiosity. Understand bass are curious, but are you just throwing at singles or are you throwing at groups? I love targeting groups of fish. You get the competition, you get how they react, and I know, but for my lakes I have hybrid bass and stripers, and there are times a 4-pound striper looks like a 4-pound largemouth. So that's one of the big things with your forward-facing device, is you're not always going to know that fish is a bass or not. There are people that are like, oh, I know that's a bass, 100% that's a bass, or this. I mean, times I feel that way, but we really don't know until we catch it and get it in the boat. Because like I just mentioned, a 3-pound striper can look like a 3-4 pound largemouth. Now when that striper, one thing with stripers that I've learned, they'll glide. So the big stripers, they'll just look like this. They'll swim and just stop swimming and glide. So I know it's a striper. Like, I've never seen a largemouth do that I've caught, but them giant stripers will do that. So that's one thing with it, is just learning how they react, but you got to catch a couple to do it. So one way to get better, I know some pros that have done this in the Elite Series, BPT, they will throw at every fish they see and learn how they react. And they'll do it for a week or two, but they'll throw it every fish they see to learn how they react. If they catch it, then they know, like if they catch a drum on accident, then they learn, oh, hey, that's a drum. Like that's what a drum looks like. Because drum can be grainy, carp are going to be grainy, and so like I said, the trout and all that things are other parts of the U.S. I don't have trouts in my lake. But like I said, bait fish will break up and swim apart. The third one is, for your lake particular, is, and this is where your experienced anglers come in, because they have history of catching fish. But understanding how they set up on your cover and structure is huge. And then you use that to learn how they set up on your cover structure. And so you have fish that are going to be on your cover structure. Then you've got fish that are going to be swimming. Like right now in the fall period, I can take you to my lakes and we can catch fish off points and grass, brush piles, trees, or we're going to be in the middle of the creeks chasing them swimming. And one thing about the fish that are swimming in groups, they could be stripers, hybrids. Now crappie will get out there, but crappie don't swim fast. Crappie sit in them schools and just sit there, okay? But stripers and hybrids will, and sometimes them hybrids on my lake look like largemouth. And also, guess what? Largemouth, hybrids roll together in schools. We caught doubles in the last 2 weeks with largemouth and hybrids on the same Alabama rig. So there you go. But your fish that are on structure cover is huge in helping you learn how bass react and how they look, okay? And it's not always just brush piles. A lot of people just want to talk, oh, I'm going to go throw this brush pile. A lot of people are doing that now. But for me, it's, hey, I'm going to go find fish on the bottom on rock, on the bottom on points, and then in trees, okay? Because those are some of the fish that are still not getting targeted. Now, I mean, they are when they're all suspended and high, but they're not as they get down as these water temperatures get colder. And so we're going to show some of these clips, guys, of fish that are sitting up high in the water column so you can see them, some that are on the bottom, to kind of help you guys out in learning how bass identify with your forward-facing sonar. Let me know if you have any questions, and appreciate you. Let's go get into the footage. Okay, guys, so this first clip here, I'm going to give y'all a variety of clips, but this is all for you guys to see how bass act, schools of bass act, different scenarios, so you can go take it to your lake. This first clip is what I call a wolf pack. I'm going to let it start playing. There they are. This is a wolf pack. Swimming fast. They're coming at me. Okay, so that's the first. I just stopped it. I'll make my cursor bigger. My bait just landed right there. And if you can see the time of how quick this wolf pack swam, and here goes my bait. Now, here's what I'm trying to teach here, is how these dudes are about to react, because bass react. That's one of the biggest things, is bass are curious creatures, and typically if the water temperatures, from what I've learned, if they get real cold, yeah, they might not react as fast, because if it's cold, like 40 degrees, 39, 38. This is 82-degree water. This day was in, what was this? This is July. This is July 22nd, 2024. Okay, so, but wolf packs of fish, which are the ones we've never been able to throw at until this. This could be a school of whites or hybrids. Now, whites do different things in largemouth, we've learned. Like, they will. Now, I'm 108 foot out right now, too. Okay? I like having the boxes up to help me determine fish size and school size. Okay? There's a big deal of, oh, you don't need the boxes, whatever. I love the boxes to help me determine fish size and school sizes. And I feel like I'm more efficient with it. Okay? That's just me. You don't got to have the box. But I catch a lot with it, and I have the box. So, watch how these dudes act. And watch. This is largemouth. I caught 3-pound largemouth at this school. There it goes down. Here they come. And when they glow up like that, they typically, that's their, oh, I'm interested, and they see it. Okay? And then here they are coming up. I'm working that jig head minnow. One's got it in there. And then here he comes. There he goes. He's about to jump. Kumbaya. So, but this is a school of fish swimming. Okay? All right, school of fish swimming, but you see how they act? Now, once again, hybrids and whites and stripers can do this, and if you have some other species, you know, they can, but I just want y'all to see what a school of bass. And one thing I learned this from Drew Gill, you never ever let a suspended school of fish go without throwing a lure at them. Now, once again, with my grid, let's say they were like this long, the fish, they're stripers. I ain't going to throw at them. And stripers will glide. Stripers move a little faster. But this is the first thing I want y'all to see. Now let's go to a structure spot. Okay, so this is a school of fish that's relating to grass off of a rounded point. Okay, now this is the school. Now when you're seeing the ground moving, that's because my trolling motor is moving from right to left. Now once again, this group of fish is for y'all to see how groups of bass can look and how they react to lures. Okay guys, I already fished this school of fish once. I threw the jig head minnow at them. They didn't eat. I threw it past them. They followed it to the boat. Boom. So then I adapted. I came back the next go around. The first go around was 10:30. I just watched the footage. The next go around was right now, and I threw a topwater lure at them. Okay, so they're bundled up. Now once again, there's your group of bass, and they're not just sitting still on this point. They are moving around. Okay, now they're already coming up. Now when I'm throwing topwater lures, I at times can see my topwater lure when it's in the cone perfectly. But I know I'm throwing around them and I'm watching the fish. Now these are not big fish. 2.5 pounds might be the biggest in this school. 12 inchers, 14. So I want y'all to kind of get an idea. We're at 106 feet out. How they just look. Okay. But they're very, very curious. And this is clear water. Not super clean like up north, but clear for Arkansas. And watch how they come up. There they go. And one of them, I missed one, and then one came back and got it. I moved away, and then there's the school. But you're seeing them, okay? Now, understand, now watch how these fish are swimming, okay? Because we're going to see some big fish here in a minute. Watch and kind of picture a bass. Like, one thing I've learned a lot from me on the water, seeing bass, is how they swim, okay? And then from watching these clips is how I have this photogenic in my memory. Watch these dudes. It's like that dude right there with this tail. Okay? Alright? Like, watch it again. And I have these photogenic memories because, like, stripers won't swim like this. White bass don't. Okay? Carp don't. Carp are going to be fuzzy and like fuzzy guard or fuzzy. Okay? Drum. Carp look like, I need to find some carp clips. Carp look like fuzzy, 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 like your antenna's not working. Okay, now I've showed parts of this clip, but you're going to see the whole clip now before. This is an old clip. This was October 2023. A mega gets caught here on the flutter spoon. Now look, now I'm on the water and it's windy, okay? Let's play it live action. I'm looking for a fish on the bottom. Boom. There's two right there. I see those two. And here in a bit, you're going to see, look, there's two right there. You're going to see more schools here in a bit. Like big schools. These are just 2-3 fish. There they are. And I'm kind of seeing, but right there. Look, there's more all of a sudden. And that's what's interesting, guys, with Livescope, is you always don't see them on the bottom. They could be so tight, they're not moving. There's a lot to it, okay? And when they're like those Kentucky Lake schools, and we're looking at some schools here in a minute on the bottom, this is what I like to target. And guys, now we're in 15 feet, and here in a minute, we're going to go to some clips where we're in 80 feet. The dot sizes change, and your eyes got to be really good. And so, like, I'm in 15 feet. This is easy for me to fish in, guys. Because, like, I found schools on the bottom in 40, 50 foot. I mean, I've done that this last 2 weeks on my lessons. And so, this is easy. But, like, I know a lot of people's lakes. For me. Not for y'all. Okay, I get it. Not for y'all. But I know what I'm kind of looking for. And sometimes there's a lot of guessing game. This is my bait coming down. I didn't even know where I threw it. Because we probably didn't see the splash because it's windy. I'm in a boat. 4-Trex trolling motor. Here we go. This flutter spoon's going down. I work it. Here they come. And at this point, guys, like, I'm looking at my screen, but I'm seeing them reacting, and I'm working my spoon. Like, I'm not here, like, waiting. Like, I'm working it. I know they're on it. I don't got to watch them eat it. And that's with the jig head minnow, too, when you're fishing and win. Okay? Play. Goes down. They're on it. I'm working it. One, I think, gets it there. Boom, he got it there, okay? He got it there, and there he goes. Now, watch these dudes come. This is what big bass look like. I'm also 80 feet out here, okay? So now, once again, we got to remember 80 feet is different than 100. I mean, look at this dude, okay? This is a 5-foot box by guess, and he is almost a third of it. All right, almost a third, okay? Big bass, all right? big fish. Okay, and like, look at that guy back. I mean, just look at those guys swimming. So, like, these is how they look, though. Like, I've watched these clips over and over, and then I'm on the water, and I see how they look. I mean, look, like, I picture a bass right there. I'm going to hit pause. Look at that big dude on the bottom. Picture fish. Now, picture largemouth bass. I'm looking at one on my wall behind me. That's an 11-pounder and a 10. And just picture how they're swimming, okay? Because walleye are long and skinny, okay? And catfish. I know catfish react like bass, but like just kind of picture that. Okay, here's you a school of big fish, because we caught a few close to 5 in. And on the spoon, this video is on my channel from the summer. 90 degrees. This is a hot day. Hot, and it's been hot. Okay, so I found these fish earlier, couldn't get them to fire, and then I came back here and the flutter spoon got them going. Okay, as you guys see, I like throwing the spoon a lot. There we'll have other clips too, but I'm 106 feet out. Once again, this is for y'all to see how bass identify. Now look at my screen. It's not near as clean as the last clips. Water here is a little more dingier, okay? And it's, I don't know if it rained or not. I don't think it rained, but this water's a little more dingier. And I was in some clear water, so this is dingier. This is a group of fish, and we're going to see more fish as it happens. So those fish are going down due to my spoon, okay? And then I start working it. Now, during this, I know I'm in the school, and I'm watching how the fish react. I'm not much watching my lure. Like, I'm just watching how they're reacting. Because when you get around this much fish, and like I just know I'm in them, I'm watching how they react, I don't got to watch my bait. And so now, like, they're going down on it. And just look, like I said, and then one point, like, I jacked it there. Like, he ate that thing on the fall. Here they come. Now, look at all these dudes. Look how many more came up. Like, look how many are here. Like, that's a bigger fish than what I caught. 100% that is. Look, there's still more down there. But, just again, like I said, look, there they are. They're all hanging out down here. This is a flat near a channel. They're on the flat. I jacked it up there. They're like, oh, hey, there he goes. Okay, here's that scenario as I was sharing where we have cover. Brush pile. I don't see a bass. Look, it's 47-degree water. It's cold. And here's our drop. This is our ledge. This little dot right here is my jig head minnow coming down. And I'm going to pull a fish out of this brush pile. So this is fish in the cover and seeing if a fish comes out. Now, if y'all hear noises, I got my little 2-month-old right now. So there goes the minnow down. Watch the minnow. I'm shaking it right above the pile, seeing if I could pull a bass out. Okay? Now, when, you know, I'm fishing without spot lock and all that good stuff, so that's why you might see it moving. There goes the minnow down the brush pile. Oh, looky there. There comes a fish out. And I start shaking it. Boom. Now, one thing, though, that happened here that's not easy. Go back. Back. Let it go down. Oh, sorry, I am. Now, I'm working it, and I know it's going to come down, but as soon as I see something comes out, I'm starting to work that thing back towards me quick to kind of play that cat and mouse game. Now, if it's a Nico rig, you just let that thing fall down there, and that bass will chase it. But this is a jig head minnow. Minnows do not just let bass eat it. So I start shaking it there. There it comes out. Got it. This was a 4-pound largemouth. Okay. Now, so this is another way to learn how fish react. And this is how to fish cover efficiently. To where before, throw a jig at it for 30 minutes, this, that. Now we're, you know, here. Now, that fish might not have ate, then I can always come back and throw a jig at it. So here's a unique one right here before I'm playing. That's the jig head minnow. We're in 45 feet of water. This little drop is like the ditch, the creek ditch in this creek. Okay, this is a clip from last year. But as I'm recording this is exactly what we did in my last trip 2 days ago, and we busted them. And now when this right here is going to be a school yellow bass, though. And I want y'all just to kind of compare the yellow bass, and I'm going to maybe later be able to show y'all a video clip. Maybe the next clip, I'm going to show you a video clip of some of the bass. I've never got like a great recording of this, but in my trip 2 days ago, that was at one of my lakes I do my lessons on. We were in 50 foot of water, and like what you see here, like I know they're yellow bass now because this is big and whatever, But like when you're doing this on a 12-inch screen live, you just sometimes don't know. But the other day, like there's hundreds on the bottom. And like right now you don't see any. I'm gonna hit play. They kind of coming up there. And like the other day, they were more flat on the bottom. But at times they could be a little balled up like this. So here they come, boom, boom, boom. One gets hooked, and how that dude comes up real fast. A lot, you know, a lot more different. Now, here's the thing. You're like, oh yeah, those are little dots, Jimmy. But look at I'm set at 62 feet. Okay. So, I want y'all to see these yellow bass, and then I'm going to pause now and show you a school of the right ones. Here's just me videoing the school. Maybe they came up. There they are. There they are there. Now I'm going to show you this clip. Okay. They're all right here. They're about to come up. There they are. Right there. But you can just tell how bigger, how they're a little longer. Okay. Now this is set at 100 feet here. But you just see them. You see them right there. I'm going to go back to them. There they are there. They're moving. They're moving right now a lot. So go back to here after we pulled a couple up. After you catch a couple and they come up. There they are. Oh yeah. And guys, like, I'm in 50 foot here. But this can be in 15 foot. This can be in 10, 20. For some of my lakes, the 30 to 50 foot is the zone that you can find them in the creeks, in the ditches. I'm going to show you two clips out of this school. Now, this is a school on the bottom. Okay. There they all are. When you start seeing them movement right there, this is a giant school. I'm going to catch a bass here on a crankbait. Now, you're seeing these fishies here. There's already been some fish caught, brought to the boat. And this is what's neat that we've learned is like how many you bring to the boat when you catch them. And like this was a day where they bit. And it kind of opened my eyes. This was like 3 years ago, by the way, guys. This is old. I'm 80 foot out. I mean, I got bad voltage. I mean, my gain's low. I mean, but this is 3 years ago. I catch a fish on a crankbait here. I don't even know when the crankbait's coming in, but this is that scenario where like you see the school, they're on the structure, which is this little hump. You make accurate cast and fish. And so like I was an 8XD here. But we know when the fish gets brought up. And like right there he goes. So that school went in, that crankbait went in. Look at all these fishies. They're like, "What are you doing, Greg? Come back, Greg." And then Greg's up here, and then they see the boat, and just like there's already fish caught. And they all come to the boat. Then you gotta let them go back now. But you know, this is just crazy. Let me show you another clip. Same school. I'm gonna go back a little bit. There they are. Okay. Glide bait. Spro KGB Chad. Here they come. Oh yeah, here they come. Look at these girls fight for this thing. Eventually, boom, got her right there. Look at all these fish though. Hey, yeah, this is cool. This is like a 5-pound fish. But yeah, watch it again. Like I said, there's the glide bait. There's the glide. Here they all come. This is sweet. Like I said, old footage right here, 3 years ago. Okay, everybody, check this out. This is where, like, I want to show y'all what potentially other fish could look like. This right here is a massive army of hybrids coming in the play. Now, there's some largemouth and spots potentially mixed. I mean, there's some fish breaking. But these dudes, hybrids. And at times they can get in tighter balls of those wolf packs. I think I caught one over here on Little George. But like, just showing you, like, this is just, like, just want y'all to see, like, and I'm showing you this just to show how hard it is to identify, at times, a white bass, potentially, a hybrid. The stripers you can at times, but a 4-pound striper can look like a 4-pound largemouth, or a 6-pound striper, or, you know, what I'm saying, 4-pound striper, 6-pound largemouth, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, like, whatever that body comparison is. But
when they're all about that size, it is hard to compare. And there's some characteristics I know that largemouth can do different, you know, like, I get all that, but this is just to show you guys that are new how hard it is to identify. Here, look at this. Madness. I mean, if you want to catch fish, this is great. Like, you're around them. They might not bite, though. Like I said, they might not bite. Now that my deal was recording, this was last year, Lake Gray. For everybody that knows where hybrids are, it's the gray or greers. Let's go a little faster. But yeah, so there you go. A shot. Now as we get up here to this point, though, that was our largemouth buddies. They're up here hanging on this point, letting these hybrids run the creek. Oh, there's a little school of hybrids. Oh, done. Speaking of stripers, here's your striper catch right here. And I knew I had this one just to show, like, teaching. So, yeah, when I first saw these 3 dots, I'm like, those are some good fish. Let's see what they are. And then now here's that one, and there's some little fish there. At this point, now I'm in the boat. It's winter, cold, early in the morning. When I first saw this fish, I was like, this is a big largemouth. But I'm telling you, when I knew exactly it was a striper, from my experience. Like, back there watching that thing swim, I knew it. Like, me right now, I know it's a striper. One thing stripers like to do is glide, also in the water. Like, they won't just move. They'll just, like, if you picture that thing long, just kind of picture it long going in the water. But, like, once again, me watching this, I'm like, oh, yeah, duh, that's a striper, Jimmy. But remember, we're on the water. This is on a 12-inch screen, or 10-inch, or 9, or 22, if you have the ICU like I do now. But at that moment there, I knew that's a striper when I was throwing at this fish. And I was like, don't you eat it. And it did. And then, zzz, next thing you know, we got a big old fish catch. You can tell there, like, how long it is, too. Like, I mean, this wasn't a giant striper. But, like, I mean, at this point, I mean, look. That's a 10-foot box. And it's like 3 feet. I mean, just knowing. Oh, anyway. So, striper catch. I'm just telling you right now, guys, I love this fish catch right here. Here's a tree. This is in May. Okay. I'm 110 feet out. Tree with some bass on it. Okay, now let me just show y'all. Okay, wait, what's going on? I thought this was the one. Okay, it is. Here we go. There it is. Tree with bass. There's my topwater lure. Bass. They're hanging around the tree of life. They don't even act like they see this thing, because they didn't, because bass are curious. And I knew these were bass because they're moving. Here in a minute, we're going to show you a clip of a crappie sitting on a tree. Bass will move around. Definitely in 75-degree water. It's windy, by the way, too. Not crazy wind. There's my topwater lure. They see it this time. They just get ready. They see it. Even though they're 10 and 15 foot down. Clean water. Here they come. Wham! First one got it. And they all were like, oh no! Where'd Bob go? Okay, there's about to be a lot going on here. We're gonna have a school of bass that I make a terrible cast on. And then I'm going to show y'all, like, I think 2 schools of crappie. So this is just recently, by the way. Like, there's baitfish right here. There's bass swimming. Okay. That's a school of bass swimming. These are some other fish. I'm going to make a terrible cast here. It happens to the best of us. Oh, but they're going to eat the bait. They pushed on the bait. You can see the bait getting pushed. They're right there behind the bait. Now look, guys, I'm moving 1.2 miles per hour. Although they go now. They're swimming. There's another school of fish. They're swimming. Get ready to see me make a terrible cast. There I go. And I'm at that point, the reason I did not, what I should have done is reeled in real fast. And I mean reel the thing as fast you can and then recast. But I was thinking maybe they'd turn around and come attack it. But this is what you don't want to happen, is one to come. Because if one comes, if he eat it, that's great. If he doesn't, they're not going to eat. But if you get the whole school to come, you're going to have a really high % catch rate. But one came at that point and they're like, I screwed. Here they all come. Now they're all like, oh, hey, Jerry went up there. And I tried to drop just to see if I get their interest. They're not, nah, but these are bass. These are bass. Look at those dudes. Y'all get to see how they're swimming. Picture a largemouth. You're holding a picture of it, whatever. These are like 2-pounders. I think this day, guys, I caught like 22.5-pounders from my fish footage. Like, this day was crazy. This video here is going to be an uncut video on my channel soon with some of this footage that you're seeing. Now, I'm going to show y'all, and I was actually doing this purposely because I knew I was going to do this video. This school of fish right here on this tree not moving. Now, bass can sit on cover just like this. I've seen it. We caught fish in the last 2 weeks. I already saw some of these, and I was throwing and knew they're crappie. So watch this. Here goes my lure. Already threw. And I know I'm recording, and I'm not going to get this for teaching. If that was a school of bass, guys, they would have came up there and fought for that thing and ate it or not. But look, these dudes don't. One guy is like, oh, hey, I'll go check it out. Like, I'm putting that thing right there on him. And look, here they come. Oh, I'll go check it out, guys. Crappie. He just kissed it. And look, they don't even move. Now, crappie will move off brush piles and whatever. But, like, that was their tree. And they're, like, scared to death because there's largemouth in the area. There's bait. Look, here he goes going back. Look, here's another school. Look, here goes my minnow. They didn't want the big jig head minnow. They didn't. One's like, I'll be the sacrifice. No. Tell me, those were bass. What came up after, like that last school you saw. I don't think there's any more other cool stuff in this one. Get ready for the next one. Madness. I already caught a fish in this school. And they're like right here. They're at the boat. Because I caught one and brought them. But look, here's half of the school swimming away. They're right here. They're swimming, guys. There they are. Just what y'all see what largemouth look like in a big school. Now, imagine this school. There they are. Imagine this school now on the bottom and not swimming. Because that's what they do when they're not swimming. And they always don't swim. When it gets colder, I mean, they'll swim at times, but you don't see them like you do when that water's at 65. Okay. So there they are. They're just swimming. Trying to see if my A-rig gets down there too. Let's see if I catch one here. I think I caught 3 out of this school. They broke up. I mean, it was a mega school. Goes my A-rig. Oh, nope. They went right. My A-rig's over here. So what I'm doing is trying to stay on these dudes. Trying to stay. Oh, got one there. Got one there. Here we go. Here we go. I should have. So I reeled in. Y'all know how hard this is at times. There goes my A-rig. The reason I'm still on the A-rig because they're eating A-rig. And sometimes when you get this, you can catch 2 instead of 1. So there's my A-rig. Oh, they see it. I'm starting to work it. That first one said, First one said, And then look, someone came up there. Boom. Got him. Got him right there. He ate it right there. That was it. He ate it right there. So I already caught. I think that was my 3rd one I caught. Should have showed you like the first clip if I could find it real quick. Alright, we backtracked. Here we go. The first clip. There they are. Swimming. They up rolling, moving to the next spot. They went from living at like, Dallas. They stayed at Dallas and now they're like, hey, we're going to go to Austin. That's what they're doing, guys. They don't just got to sit still. Now when it's hot summer, yeah, they'll sit still, but they move. Schools move. Here they go. They're rolling. Just trying to find some new shad or a new area to hang out and sit for a bit. There goes my A-rig. And this is what happens the first time they see the A-rig. Boom! Got him there. Yeah, boy. That's some good stuff. I don't care what you say. Look at that school. Yeah, that's bass. You still watch them moving, though. Watch how they're swimming. Just so y'all see how they look. And then they're like, oh, we're going to go. Bye-bye. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Faith Juice. It's like 10:15 right now. I'm editing this video that you guys just watched. And, yeah, here we are. And I had this Faith Juice in mind, what I want to share. But here we go.
So, James 4, which I've been reading James and Proverbs, Psalms, but James 4, there's a lot going on in it. But one of the kind of scriptures I liked, or one of the verses, God opposes the proud, but shows favor towards the humbled. And this can go in so many ways, so many different directions, and And I'm going to talk to the fishing community, the tournament anglers, because I have some buddies that are tournament anglers, and they have pride issues. And every one of us as a male can have a pride issue, okay? But after coaching football and coaching baseball and track, being a part of the coaching and education world, and then being in this fishing world, it is mind-blowing to me how much pride is in fishing. Tournament fishing. Not normal anglers. I'm talking tournament anglers. Pride, I mean, that's a one-man deal. But with that, there's so much jealousy also. It's not as big of a family as you think it is, as I think. It's a lot of broken pieces, okay? And I've experienced that from my side. But with this verse, okay, God opposes the proud but shows favor towards the humbled, okay? We're in this world now where there's a lot of being proud, okay? And then also being humble. And I just want you guys to think about it, okay? And like I said, I don't want to go too in depth on it. I'm trying not to, because I'm trying to, as James also said, slow to speak, slow to become angry, okay? Because I've had some stuff come back to me from what people that I have put heart into, and I have put a lot into, a lot of love, and now they're, as you can say, stab me in the back, and I'm just trying to slow down, and like I say, kind of be, I'm trying to, like I say, the humble there, because that's one thing, is I don't try to be too proud, but I know when I like put stuff on my stories or this and that, like that's me showing my business. Hey, here you go. You know, I'm trying to get you guys to come fish, and look what we did today or didn't do. But you know, there's a lot of pride in fishing, and let's not try to cross that pride line. Let's all be together. That's one thing with me that I'm trying to do, is help you guys become better anglers. You know, where there's a lot of oh, this, it's mine. You know, it's just my fish, and or you know, and oh, my fishing way. That's just, or in football, when I coach football, everything's on film. Like, the game's on film. Everything, every move you make, chess piece, is on film. It might not go like you want it, because kids, the players, you know, I'm like puppets. The players got to do what you coach them to do, and that don't always work out. Sometimes players make plays that I can't coach or you can't coach. But in fishing, you're trying to get this animal to bite, and there's just a lot of people lying about it. A lot of people always have lied, and here I am. I just want to help you guys out and catch them, and I even show you pretty cool footage and try to actually show y'all. So anyway, don't be too proud. Let's be humble. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.